Take one of the most driver-orientated mid-sized premium sports saloons you can buy, Alfa Romeo Giulia, then give it a Ferrari-derived 510 brake horsepower 2.9 litre twin-turbo V6. Add in a special torque differential to get all that power down through the rear wheels, and assign a Ferrari engineer to finesse this creation. The result is this Giulia Quadrifoglio, and it's rather unique. This Giulia Quadrifoglio model is a four-door Ferrari in all but name. Under the bonnet lies a 2.9 litre petrol V6 bi-turbo that's essentially a cut-down version of the 4 litre V8 used in Maranello's 488 GTB. It develops a thundering 510 brake horsepower, which at the time of this test was an output matched only by the upgraded and much pricier S version of this model's other most obvious rival, the Mercedes-AMG C63. This Alfa storms to 62 miles an hour in a 3.9 second time that identically matches that Merc, this figure only slightly slower than that Ferrari we just mentioned. And should you find yourself on a track or on a stretch of unrestricted autobahn, it'll keep powering on to 191 miles an hour. Alfa's thrown all the performance technology it has at this Halo model, though interestingly not its Q4 four-wheel drive system, not for our market anyway. In lieu of that, active torque vectoring helps to get the power down through the bends. Active suspension varies the damping, and Alfa chassis domain control connects the different systems to deliver the best setup as this car is being driven. There's also an Alfa active aero system that alters the angle of the front splitter to help this model scythe through the air more cleanly. Plus, the DNA drive mode system gets an extra race setting for tyre smoking starts. Other markets get a manual gearbox option, but an 8-speed paddle shift auto transmission is mandatory for the UK. The torque proportions of the Giulia work well with the Quadrifoglio embellishment. Enthusiasts will most readily recognise this top Giulia version by its unique 19-inch wheels, through which you can glimpse black aluminium calipers. We've got optional yellow calipers here. There's also special Quadrifoglio badging, pronounced side sills, and black gloss window surrounds. At the front, piercing bi-xenon headlamps flank the classic shield-shaped grille to give the car some serious overtaking presence. There's also a lower splitter for optimum aerodynamics. And at the rear, there are LED tail lamps, a neat boot spoiler that can be trimmed in carbon fibre, plus a sports exhaust with quad tailpipes. As usual, of more importance is the stuff you can't see, namely the use of ultra-lightweight materials in this variant structure, including carbon fibre for the bonnet, roof, front splitter, rear spoiler and body inserts, as well as aluminium for the doors and wings. Inside, the cabin is set apart with sports seats upholstered in a leather and Alcantara combination. You'd ideally want these carbon fibre trimmed race-style bucket chairs that make you feel like you're in a DTM racer. The dashboard and the door panels are also wrapped in stitched leather, and there are carbon fibre inserts around the fascia, plus you get aluminium kick plates and an ambient lighting setup for a classy feel after dark. Otherwise, it's the usual Giulia interior package with design centred around the driver, the main controls grouped together on the small steering wheel. When it's time to take a seat in the rear, taller folk might find access hindered a little by the swept back roofline. Still, the rear door opens decently wide, and once inside you'll find that there's a reasonable amount of backseat space by class standards, with plenty of room to push forward your feet beneath the front chairs. There's a relatively high centre transmission tunnel, but you get twin centre vents, a USB port, a fold-down centre armrest with cup holders and overhead reading lights. Out back, there's a 480-litre boot. You could argue that this top Giulia doesn't offer anything you can't already get from a rival Mercedes-AMG C63, and in some ways that's true. But this Alfa delivers its performance in an even more beguiling way, and of course it's much rarer. One for collectors, we think.